sounds good. But we've notified him that that's gonna happen?
Tyler was out this afternoon, but yes, I have been on the phone with.
All right, good.
So.
Well, let's do everything we can.
Okay, we're gonna approve the community health assessment priorities, which was brought up by Ms. Christina Ford earlier. That will be in the actions. Two other items under old business, the amendment to the county personnel policy on the conditions of the driver's responsibilities. I spoke with Travelers Insurance, and they said yes, in rare cases, the county manager may approve family members, state personnel, or other persons of county interest to be allowed to ride in a county-owned vehicle. This would cover us if someone, because our policy says no one.
Right.
But this would cover us, and then we would have record of anyone that would be in our, now, this is exempting our medical and sheriff's departments.
But not taking a car 20 miles out of the
No.
way, just
No.
to keep somebody out.
Right, we're just trying to protect us on that end. As far as the military leave, you can leave as is, we can change it. They get sick leave, annual leave, we can allow them to use their leave if they need to
It's
use
not
it.
broke, let's not.
So you don't have to
That's how
do
we
it.
do it. I mean, as long as it's meeting the requirements that are by law.
Well, they'll be paid anyway, they
Right.
can use their leave,
Okay.
so.
You sent me that, or you put it
Yeah,
in
they
the
get paid through the military
Right.
too, and I was not aware of that. I didn't know they actually got paid
Oh, yeah.
when they went, and then they were getting paid, plus getting credit for leave while they were gone. So it was kind of a double dip and a little bit, you know,
I didn't understand the COBRA part of that at all.
but either way, yeah.
If they're called up to active duty,
Yes,
you
we
know,
can't
long-term.
do away with their job.
But is the fire bill to use or leave up in volunteers for the guard?
No, I think we ought to give everything we possibly can.
Yeah, I mean,
Our veterans and soldiers, everyone.
In the
I mean, that's
previous
just
one,
me.
we
You know I'm
had
gonna
10
say that.
days that we gave them
Like,
over top of their accrual of leave. And
Okay.
that's what I had brought before.
I
And
mean,
in the new policy,
this way, if they have to use their annually, but then they keep on vacation with their families, I mean.
Yeah. So what would that entail this board doing though?
you'll make the motion in action to amend the first, to amend it to go back to giving them their 10 days
okay.
and pay with pay, not
I
annual or
won't do
sick
anything.
leave.
I won't
Yeah,
do it
that's,
for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a gift for me.
The only thing that you would not pay for would be optional benefit premiums to insurance that they may have voluntarily elected to get.
Right.
But in the original first policy, we gave them 10 days a year
And
to take military, and it was out of the second one. So if you want to entertain that, that will be
We
fine.
don't
Have
have
to
to
do
do
that
better,
too.
but we need to take care of it.
right, without,
Most guard duty is, what, two days a month?
I think it's a week.
Yeah.
2 days a month,
Yeah.
and drills 1 week or something other than
Yeah.
that.
so what we'd have to do then is to, there'd be no amendment, but just to revert back to the original policy?
I will do, it will be an amendment number 2.
Right,
The original section 17 was deleted and will now be replaced with the following language. A regular employee who is a member of the National Guard or Armed Forces Reserve will be allowed 10 work days of military training leave annually. If such military duty is required beyond this 10 workday period, the employee shall be eligible to take accumulated vacation leave or be placed on leave without pay status. While on military leave, with or without pay, an employee's health coverage will be maintained during military leave at the same level and status as during regular work period. An employee must arrange for optional benefit premiums to be paid while on leave. Employees who are guardsmen and reservists have all the job rights specified in the Vietnam Era Veterans Readjustment Assistance Act.
right. That
So
sounds-
they are paid for the 10 days, that's paid.
That is paid beyond, yes,
Okay, so we can act on that
you
tonight?
can,
Okay,
yes.
it'll be in that format, okay. So that'll be an addendum to the action items,
Mhm.
and that'll be for military leave. And that's amendment?
That's amendment 2 to the Graham County Personnel Policy.
Okay,
And I think that is all I have for discussion.
Okay. Public records, all right. Anything else on new or old business? Anybody? Okay, Ms. Clerk, please guide me through it. The action items are as follows, and some of these have been tabled. Please let's make note of those. First of all, on the reevaluation, we need a decision on the timeline. I'm not understanding the decision on the timeline. We decided to go with the 2015, but the beginning of the eval is what we're trying to determine. And I think that needs to be right away. I mean, I've not done that, but what we need to understand too is that in this, the decision is made about how that's going to be conducted. In-house, out-of-house. So we need to, set the decision on a timeline. That's what this says. But in this motion, I have a question for the clerk based on this, is that, if it's a reeval and we're going to do the timelines and start immediately, we're 2 months, quote unquote, behind now. And I don't understand that, but we are. But in that too, about whether to do it in-house or to contract. That decision has not been made. So I have a motion to the effect for the timeline. First of all, I think we need to do a motion regarding the in-house or the contract.
And do you want to make that motion to include commercial property, the dams by contract?
Utility.
We need to clarify that reval needs to be done by a certified
Utilities. What is it called? It's utilities.
You have to have a registered,
utilities appraiser.
Appraiser.
It's certified with the state of Carolina.
And you see too, with this, this could draw out to be a page long. We need to understand too that this board and discussions we had during the work session, this is the point of decision, is that, about the personnel matter, about not having enough people
As needed.
as needed.
As needed.
So those
And then
decisions,
any other special appraisers as needed, as Billy pointed out. So it's not gonna be all public black and white. It sounds like we'll be making decisions as we go.
yeah, we still have a start date on it. I mean, the assessor's office, goes through the process of doing this. And with the specification that we have utilities appraisers on contract. And then the needs of the assessor's office and personnel in order to do this. And then, it looks like from the standpoint of human resources, is that, those that you have that are bouncing back and forth now is determined by schedule. There are times that are busier, I'm sure, for that particular office than others, and then have them with sufficient staff to do the job. I mean, that's what it is. And we have people trained, as I understand, people are trained to do the assessment.
I wouldn't be against Mike if we needed someone for hard time. But I am against them sitting in there and drawing a salary after the evaluation done for 6 months.
Well, you see, that's the point. And then I want to caution everybody, really, this is a point of discussion before, we got into the issue of having a motion on this, is that we understand the responsibility on the county side for anybody that's hired for unemployment insurance over a given hour in a pay period.
Right.
So the determination about how long this person needs to work, person or persons need to work.
And that will be determined by how the reval goes, I would imagine. Once again, unemployment is not gonna run us $200,000. So, I know we may pay that, but when we look at an outside appraiser at $200,000, it gives us quite a bit of leeway for a part-time person.
And seeing that we're right now, $190,000.
Yes. That person you hire has to receive schooling within after that 1 year. So if the evaluation goes past the 1 year, we have to send them
Unless we can find someone who is now
who already
certified.
and just needed some hours to be recredited.
And it has to be advertised.
Yes.
Yes.
advertise the position, and,
We may have a retiree in an county who would be interested in this.
Well, there's no reason that it can't get started
No,
tomorrow.
true.
exactly.
And then once the applications come in, we can call an emergency meeting, come in and review them, after the deadline and meet. Now, I would recommend that if it falls outside the meeting dates.
Right. Okay. Well, okay then, can we entertain a motion then?
Have you got that motion worded for me?
Well, that's what I wondered, yeah, the motion on the, someone entertain a motion that we begin the reeval process immediately, and that in this, that we've decided as a board that this be done in-house, and that with this, that sufficient staff will be hired through advertisement, interview,
Yes.
to fill the needed positions, to perform the reevaluation.
And to contract
And contract,
a registered appraiser that is certified with the North Carolina Department of Revenue to determine utilities.
right. All right, does that make sense to everybody here? It's worded correctly?
And if we see we need somebody else along the way, we can do that, Billy, okay?
We can. But like it says, you know, it needs, you say, well, it's on a need basis, but we need to make sure we advertise it and find some qualified people. All right, that's in the form of a motion. Do I have that in the form of a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion or questions about this? I have one question, I just myself. Becky, you said that right now, we'll have around how much money? At the next-
190,000.
190.
Yeah, at the end of this fiscal year.
Okay,
And then we would add to that whatever the board allots in the next fiscal year's budget
right,
to that.
okay.
And we might know a
Toward
little bit
15.
more about it by then.
Before 15?
Yes.
Okay, so that
Each year
process,
You allot an amount to revamp. Each year you commit to an amount. It
Okay.
has been 25,000, but you've upped it to 75,000.
right, okay. All right, then, we have that in form of a motion and a second, and any further discussion? If not, all approved, signify with the hand. All opposed, like sign. The next action item will be releases and discoveries. We have a listing of discoveries in the amount of $37,649.44, and releases in the amount of $874,053. I hear a motion to accept the releases, discovery releases as stated.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Everyone has this in their packet. All right, all approved, signify by the hand. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. This time, we had a poll vote over the issue of scrapping 2 ambulances, 510 and 514, for trade, and the value of $10,000 toward the new ambulance. And that was affirmative on everybody's part. We need to have a motion now to approve the poll.
Motion.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second. All right, any further discussion about this? I think this was a very good move. All approved? All opposed? Office buildings cleaning, is that person?
Tabled.
We tabled that one, okay? All right. Okay, I'd like to read these off as appointments to county boards. I'd like to read this list above. Ms. Clark, I'm sure you get this included. I need a motion to approve the following appointees to county boards. Diaz, to appointment to the EDC, and to replace Sandra Smith for the remaining term. Commissioner Orr has volunteered. Appointment to the DSS board to fill Sandra Smith's remaining term. Commissioner Eller has volunteered. Appointment to the Rural Development Authority Board, the RDA, Andy Cable has volunteered. Appointment to the Recycling Board, Ms. Lisa Russo. Appointment to the Nursing and Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee, Ms. Jean Perkins. I have someone to entertain a motion.
So good.
Okay, motion. Have a second? Second? Okay. All right, all approved, signify with your hand. All opposed, like sign. Okay, welcome aboard, Mr. And thank you, commissioners, for your service. Okay, we have decided, I think we've already set the possible workshop session for the pay plan. I don't think that was an action item that we need to have, but we make sure that that's advertised for Monday the 4th at 9 o'clock here, 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, we have now the library contract. I think that was tabled until everyone's had opportunity. If you don't have a copy, I'm sure that Kim can get you one, maybe in your packet. Is it in our packets for tonight? I know I picked mine up in the office there. Okay, with that too, the bid on the, if I got to the work on the concrete here at DSS.
The Wolf Creek property.
Okay. I don't know that I have this bid.
I don't think I do either.
Okay, we'll get that in just a moment. All right, the acceptance of the refusal for the Wolf Creek property. As you know, by state law, Board of Commissioners has to have the first option to purchase. And are y'all familiar where this property is at on Wolf Creek? I think
I
it's where
have no idea.
the bar out there on Wolf Creek, next to Old Man
Right there
Bar's
by-
place.
David Cable's old house.
The way
So
The
David
papers.
Campbell's old house,
Yeah.
Yeah, the bar.
the bar,
Yeah.
very there, yeah.
Yeah, it goes off down.
Yeah. The waste pit, I call it.
Waste
Yeah.
it, yeah. Got the dirt in there, but I know there's a lot of rock too. But anyway, they've given up to the county the first option on it, per requirement. And is there any discussion about this? I think we've already talked about it.
I think we talked about it and decided
Yeah,
we
I think
didn't
it's
want to buy.
4.88 acres, and by law, we're required to get first option. Do I hear a motion to some effect?
Make a motion, we refuse them.
Okay, there's a motion to refuse this offer.
Second.
There's a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all approved? All opposed? Thank you. Okay. We now have the approval of the amendment to the personnel policy, Article 5, regarding the driver's responsibilities and presented by the clerk in discussion. It's amendment number
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay, let's go ahead and combine these. And the second amendment has to do with the amendment to the Graham County personnel policy regarding military leave. All right, those two combined. We have a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on either of those amendments? All approved, signify with the hand. All opposed, like sign. All right, the amendment that this is pretty much not an amendment, but it had some changes in the sanitation operations plan that was approved. This was DENA
Yes.
and
Yeah,
for
yes.
2012. So do I hear someone entertain a motion for approval of the sanitation operations plan for 2012?
Motion.
Have a motion? Have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All approved, signify with your hand. All opposed, like sign. All right, these two resolutions, Ms. Clerk, probably need to be dealt with separately, right?
Yes.
First of all, the approval of the resolution supporting the NCACC goals as laid out during the Legislative Goals Conference of last month.
I'll
And
make a motion, we accept.
motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All approved, signify with your hand. All opposed, like sign. With regard to the resolution to the public records, Sheriff's Department on gun ownership and registration, we have a resolution in support of North Carolina General Statute 14.415.17. There a motion in support?
Motion.
Okay,
Second.
have a second. Any discussion with regard to this? All approved, signify with the hand. All opposed, like sign. The next that I have, Ms. Clerk, and that was the public records, that was taken care of. The Health Department, Christina Ford came in earlier and gave a presentation during the work session on the two priorities that they're setting for this year. And I believe, let me get this right, is access to health care and and physical activity. So we'll go ahead and have that in the form of motion. We accept those as presented by the health department.
The community health assessment.
Community health assessment.
So,
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Okay, that was presented to us. All right, all approved, signify with your hand. All opposed, like sign. All right, Ms. Clerk, please check to make sure that the chairman's not.
DSS cycle.
Okay. All right, that's the last here. We did have bids on those as they were presented. And the low bid on this was from Quality Masonry at the price of $4,906. Do I hear a motion to accept the lowest bid?
Motion.
Have a motion? Second, any discussion? Let me read the two other bids.
No proposals, I'm sorry, let's not say bids.
Not bids, okay?
Proposals.
Proposals, I'm sorry.
They
We
put bids
retract
on
that?
the top paper, but yeah.
Okay, you got to be careful on that. I'm gonna read the others, okay? Can I do that, you put that in record?
Because it was not put in the advertisement in the paper as bids, it's just proposals that came in. Because we have like 10 days to get it fixed, there was a complaint filed against us. So I mean, you've got a window of time to get it repaired.
And David went to these, and there's three that we have here. And he's talked to others, and he's the only ones that quote unquote reached back out to you, interested in doing the work. Can we?
The
Yes,
only thing I would point out is that, the complaint was about the one out in front here, which is
Right.
in bad shape. We also have one to the side here, which is not in better shape, and probably as many people use the side entrances. They use those, and we've got two huge holes in the pavement back here that maybe, I don't know if Dave suggested maybe put the concrete in them when they're doing this, if we could put cones around the concrete, those holes filled in. But, I don't know if you might want to consider seeing how bad this is back here and if it's gonna, how much more it would cost us to fix it all.
we're dealing with now the complaint that was here in the front
Yeah.
on this bid, or this, not
Yeah,
bid.
this is just,
Proposal.
this is just this out front.
Okay,
Yes, that's just a thought, because
okay,
it's pretty bad all around. It's up to you though.
okay.
It's
But
your-
this is immediate,
This out here, yeah,
absolutely immediate.
yeah.
Okay, I've stated the low bid, or the, excuse me, bid, the lowest proposed price, and the others come from Better Built General Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $6,475.36. The other bid is from Robbinsville Custom Molding in the amount of $5,807. So again, I have a motion to accept the lowest price proposed. Have a motion? Have a second. Any further discussion? All praise signify by the hand, all opposed like sign. And we do need to listen to the director here at DSS about the other problems, because a lot of people do use the
Well,
side.
the thing is, if our users have down here working, it'd probably be cheaper to get it done while they're here than.
Then trying to get it on, how do we do that?
So what do
Okay,
you
I
want
know you
to do?
hate the word, but I can have Mr. Hyde, if he would please, if he's got the time, just to contact
All
these,
three of these?
yes, and see what, if they would come and give us a price. I can always call you and poll you. I know you hate that word, but, these are emergency situations is the reason that we try to poll.
And
And as long as we're up front, I think.
It was a lady that used, that had used Walker to come in that day, and that made a complaint. And she had a very hard time in the building with her walker because of how uneven it is and all the little rocks and stuff on it.
It's just not correct anymore.
Yeah, and it's just, yeah, it's wrong totally anyway, but it really would cause her problems, I think.
Well, we don't want anyone hurt right there.
Yeah, well, and from the standpoint, from a separate standpoint, to the legal standpoint, that if it's not up to code and somebody gets hurt on it, then you might as well go ahead and do your settle lawsuit.
ADA,
Well, no, and not even that, I mean liability, because if you've got something that's not up to the building code, it's not up to safety standards, because it's got places where people can step off on it. I mean, so it really needs to be,
okay. And how immediate, I mean, we're talking now that we can, you know, there's not been a complaint, but there's potential on this, so David, would you consider doing that? Is that, it's got to be on this board's directive to do that, because everybody wants to go in as well. And Commissioner Moore has a good point there, you know, if they're already interested in doing the work here. But then again, it comes down to proposal, and what this board is doing directive on is that these three be approached. Is everybody on the same page with that?
Yeah, actually, what we're talking about is just a continuation of this work
Right.
instead of all.
Well, we know we're gonna get them cheaper than them already.
Exactly.
So, Bill.
Once they leave, and you throw out another proposal, we're gonna have to come back.
Right, that's right. David, could you do that for us, sir? All right, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Okay, we did approval on this.
I know we discussed the public records, did we approve it?
Yes, we did on the resolution. Yeah,
Not on the resolution, the amendment to the public records policy.
yes.
We did, okay.
And let me ask this of the board, if there's no other new or old business or anything else to act on. I have a personal request of the board, and you know, again, it's not required, but my daughter, my oldest daughter Desiree, is scheduled to deliver our second grandchild in April, on April the 17th, and our board meeting is scheduled for the 15th of April.
Can she not put that off?
No. No, it's kind of complicated.
That's correct.
I won't tell you, you said that. But excuse me?
Just hold it for, just hold it.
No, they do not want her to go into labor. That's the big point. They've got to reduce it, or she's got to have,
You might want to stay a little longer than.
well, yeah, but I
When you
mean,
stick them up, you know, at 8.
well, that may be a little bit too early. It'd be a long time for the next board meeting. It's a long time now.
What do you think?
The
22nd?
8th, the 8th is our meeting.
Long as we made it in time during that month, it's fine with me, Mike.
Well,
We can make it
Wait, we
before, we
make
can
it
make
first.
it.
if you want to.
could I
Give you
recommend
a
the
little
22nd?
Great,
Yeah,
maybe.
is that going to be conflicting with everybody?
I don't think
And
so.
I want the board to understand that, you know, if you guys want to just go on with it, or just go for it. But if
No,
not,
that's the win of your position.
As long as we give notice to the public and I post it.
well, I think it's about 2 months' notice, isn't it?
Yes.
About a
You've
month.
got plenty of time.
And if that'd be okay, can we go ahead and reschedule that then to the 22nd at 4 o'clock, 22nd of April?
So we're gonna give you 5 days, but
That's fine. Life goes on. Is that agreeable with everybody?
that's fine.
Okay, so we can schedule that, get the public notice out, so it'll be 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. on the 22nd of April. And I do appreciate it very much. Any other business, Ms. Clerk, members? Okay. This time, we ask for a motion to go into closed session under GS 143-318.11A, 1, 3, and 6, privileged or confidential information, attorney-client privilege, personnel, and contracts. We'll be dealing with personnel, specifically, and contracts.
So
Have a motion? Have a second?
after a 5-minute.
After a 5-minute recess, all approved?
Go.
All approved? Good vote.